or whichever we have once we have had hands-on, they are large language models, and they have seen rapid progress over the past few years, right? And they are very good at processing text. So if you give a text input, they are able to generate really good text output. But then these models had limitation for vision specific tasks, such as generating video or images, or even taking input as videos, images, and audio. So this limitation gave rise to the research field of multimodal large language models, or these are also known as vision language models. So these models extend large language models to multiple modalities. So when we say modalities, what it actually means is different types of input and output, like video, images, audio, including, on top of the text that they were able to manage quite well. Okay, so formally, if you look at a large language model is a LLM based model with the ability to receive, reason, and output with multimodal information. So again, images, video, audio, along with text. Okay. So I took this architecture diagram from this research paper on a survey on multimodal large language models, and we'll not go in depth into what is Q formers and all, but typically there are three components. The first is a pre-trained modality encoder. So if you compare it to the human body, these can be thought of as a eyes and ears for the data that it is receiving. So any video, audio, image, text, this modality encoder is able to convert the let's say MP3 file or MP4 file into a latent representation, which can be then understood by the large language model. And of course there is a pre-trained large language model which can be thought of as a brain. And then there is a third component called modality interface, which basically aligns the different modalities so that the output can be generated quite effectively, if I want to put it that way. Okay, so this is the very high level multimodal architecture. I'm not going in depth there because then this itself is a discussion topic by itself. Okay, so the challenge is that these multimodal applications are quite complex, because not only you are handling text, but you are also looking at video, image, and audio. And then you have to build with this multimodal data search mechanisms which can search on an image or search on an audio or a video. Okay, and the complexity grows as the data grows. Okay, so what Amazon or AWS has done is we have introduced two foundation models. One is the Titan multimodal embeddings. Okay, so this is for enterprise tasks like such as search and similarity. The second is the image generator model, which can do text to image generation and image editing as well. Okay, so for example, the features that these models bring in. So one of the most important part is the multimodal semantic search. So if you want to search an image based on some text, the Titan multimodal embeddings foundation model can do it. You can also create content at scale with Titan image generator, and we'll see some examples a little bit later on. You can edit existing or generated new images. Also, the foundation models are open for customization, so you can customize these foundation models based on the data you have. And of course, as with any other AWS AI service, this comes with responsible AI built into the model itself. So what is Titan embeddings model? It allows you to build accurate multimodal search. So if I have data which is residing in images, video, audio, I can do a multimodal search and build recommendation applications. What it means by recommendation applications is that if let's say you are building a recommendation system for a customer. Okay, so you want to recommend not only audio but some video and some images for the customer as well. You can build a recommendation application using this multimodal search. Okay, and the multimodal embeddings model, it abstracts the complexity and gives you a very easy to use interface through Bedrock to build your GenAI applications. And again, most of these generative AI applications or models, they are prone to bias. Okay, so there are mitigation mechanisms that are embedded within these models or built in within these models to reduce bias in the search results. Okay, so these are already things that come in with the multimodal embeddings. The second is called as Titan Image Generator. You can generate quite realistic studio quality images using natural language prompts. So you can give natural language prompts and it should be able to generate images for you. Okay. So what are some of the features of this image generator? You can do text to image. So you give a prompt and it will generate an image for you. You can do automatic editing. So you can give a text prompt, okay, and you can do edit the image based on the text prompt. You can do in painting. We'll see an example of what exactly in painting is. So if you have an image and you want to replace an object, you can do it. There is watermark detection. There is outpainting. Again, extend boundaries of an image by creating additional backgrounds. You can create image variations as well. And in fact, and then customization is always available with the text Titan image generator foundation model. Okay. So some of the examples, text to image, for example, generate images from text prompts. So let's say you give a prompt saying an elephant sitting in a wine glass. So the found text to image model will be able to generate an image which where an elephant is inside a wine glass. Okay, and these are really good studio quality images. You can say, okay, generate an abstract painting of a person drawing a masterpiece in the Milky Way with stars and planets in the background. So it can not only generate a single image, but multiple variations based on the same prompt. Okay. Automatic editing. So what you can do is, let's say this is your image which has a bag and a vase with flowers. You want to change the color of flowers. So you can say change flowers to orange color. Once you give this prompt combined with the image, it will be able to generate an image which has not only the original bag and the books, but the flowers are now in orange color and different flowers as well. Okay, so it has not just colored these flowers as orange, but it has found what is the realistic flower with an orange color and it has replaced that image part. In painting, for example, let's say you have this image of a house with a lake and mountains behind it with forests, and you want to place a car here. Okay, so what you can do is you can take the image of, so you can tell the model to add the image of car to this particular base image or the input image, and it will do it for you. It's not just copy pasting the image on top of this particular image of the car on top of this input image, but if you see, it has created the shadows and everything, making it much more realistic. And as always, this is quite high resolution image that has been generated. Again, if I want to replace the mountains in the base image along with the car and maybe add some ducks in the lake, all of this can be done quite easily with the image generator foundation model. Outpainting, again another example where I have this image of a clock or whatever it is, right? And I want to put it in a different background. Okay, imagine you are selling this particular product and you want to change the background for this particular product to show what all scenarios or what all situations this product can be used in. So for example, you want to show that, okay, how does this image look like outside when you are on a vacation? So these maple leaves are painted along with this particular image, or you want to show how this product will look like when you take it to a beach vacation. So this can be again shown like this. So if you are a retailer or if you are a manufacturer of this particular product and you don't have the budget to take it to different situations or scenarios or places to capture high quality images, you can use the outpainting feature to paint such images which are quite realistic and very high resolution. Again, image variation. So there is an image playground. If you have used Amazon Bedrock, there is an image playground and you can generate different variations of the same image. Okay. So what are the benefits here? We are sorry, my bad. We are generating realistic high quality images, more easily build GenAI apps with your data. and responsible AI. The reason why I'm emphasizing on more easily build your applications, because building a multimodal application which not only takes input as text but also as images, audio, video is quite difficult. And with these two foundation models available as part of Bedrock, you can easily build your applications. As technical developers, the ease in which you can integrate generative AI, and that to multimodal Gen AI, within your applications could be easily done by Bedrock and using these foundation models. And finally, the responsible AI part is very, very important, because most of these images can be also used for harmful purposes. Okay. And you need the responsible AI feature to be built into the model so that it cannot be used for any harmful purposes. So there are guardrails, these models have been designed with responsible AI principles to generate new content. Okay. So with that, my short brief presentation is over. I'm quite sure you must be excited to do hands-on on multimodal kind of a use case. And that's all from my side. Over to you, Shivpriya.
Here, one quick thing, Amit.
Yeah.
Pranay here. Actually, just wanted to know, like with Bedrock, can we do kind of interior designing or something like that? Suppose if I'm having a room layout or something like that, can I
Hmm.
do interior designing with
Yeah.
Bedrock?
In painting can be done. In painting can be done. So you see this example of in painting, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I have a background. Let's say this could
Mhm.
be your room or whatever you want to do, and you want to place different images at different places. So those things are possible. Okay. Some of the advanced things, like you want to optimally place the objects in the room, right? And look at different variations, that can also be done, but that may require more programming and those kind of things. But just in painting or placing the image in the with the background can be easily done.
Amit,
Okay.
one
So,
quick question, if I may ask.
Yeah, sure.
I've just posted on the chat also.
Okay.
In case I want to search from a lot of video content, an appropriate video, and the user is going to give his query in text, do I still
Yes.
need a multimodal model? Is it
So you
necessary?
need no, so you would need a embeddings model, right? Because you want to do semantic search, right? You want to search for a particular video, or you want to search for a particular, let's say you have a lot of images, right? And you want to search for an image with a person standing with, let's say, a dog in a forest. Let's say this is the prompt. Okay, I'm just taking an example. So you can do that search. So you would need, see, the challenge is, let me show you this part. Okay, see, the challenge is taking this particular data, okay, and converting it into a representation which can be understood by a large language model. Okay, so if you remember, when you would have done the basic text kind of models, right, which were the initial large language models, there we used to do something called as vectorization, okay, or word embeddings, where the text was converted into a numerical representation which can be understood by the model, right? The machines don't understand language or don't understand images or video, they just understand numbers. So to convert this particular data into a numerical or a mathematical representation which can be understood by a large language model, that is why
Yeah.
where you need this embeddings
Yeah.
model. So if you
I,
see,
I I understood,
yeah,
Amit.
yeah,
In
yeah,
case we have a lot of videos with the text transcripts of those videos, we could use that text transcripts and build, I mean,
yeah, you
build a
can do
RAG
that.
over the LLM and then
Yeah,
query. That should be
yes.
adequate, or am I missing something? If my only objective is to get the appropriate video for a particular user query, then I have all the transcripts of all the videos that I have in the repository. Then a text-based LLM would suffice, or would I still need a multimodal for some reason?
So if you look at a text, so the question, if I understood correctly, is, let's say I have 10,000 videos. I using some AI tool, okay, I or maybe transcribe or any of these AWS services, machine learning services. You are extracting the text out of the video, storing it into a vector database, and then running queries on it, right?
Yeah.
Will that be different from the multimodal embeddings? That is the question, right?
Yeah.
See, if you look at what is happening in the transcript, right? The transcript contains the audio, is the text conversion of the audio that is being spoken in the video, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So if two
Yes.
people are speaking, the conversation is recorded. But let's say I want to search for, and so in the video I want to search where there are three people talking, right? I'm not
Mm.
interested in what is being spoken. If I'm
Mm.
interested in what is being spoken, then obviously your text model will work.
Mm.
But if I want to
Mm.
look for three people conversing or three people
Mm.
having lunch or whatever it is,
Mm.
right? Then
Mm. Mm.
that thing is not captured in the transcript. So the
Yeah.
large language model will not be able to get that kind of information from your transcript data, right? So it has to convert the video or the image, whatever it is, right, into something that can capture the, so it's called as latent representation, which is a hidden representation or a mathematical representation of the what is happening inside the video. So it could combine both audio that is coming from the video as well as the scene that is being played out in the video, and from there it can store those multimodal embeddings and then do the search and similarity part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right then, over to Shipriya. uh, Sorry, I was not sharing my screen, but I thought it stopped sharing actually.
Yes, it stopped sharing.
Sorry about that. You want me to share and show the slide again, or that's all right?
No, that's all right, Amit.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Okay. Thank you, Amit, again, once again, to our AWS partners for enabling us with the workshop. With Nuvepro, our goal has always been to enabling project readiness and job readiness. Before moving ahead, I want to quickly kind of introduce the fact that, here, whatever hands-on practice that we'd be doing, we'd be rewarding all the participants, and a couple of participants who completed and submitted the output with rewards and a winning certificate, and rest everybody who has participated will also get the participation certificate, which you can avail, or our team would be mailing it to you probably in the next 3-4 days, once the workshop is done. Similarly, on the recording, you can go on Neopro's YouTube channel, and you can also avail all the previous workshop that we've done on GenAI. With this particular video, we'll be sharing the recording for this video as well by Wednesday or so. Before we move ahead and I pass the speaking session to my GenAI expert, I will quickly take you through a couple of, just quickly run you through about what Nuvepro does and how do we kind of do it. So considering that Nuvepro is an organization that caters to ITS specific organization, product engineering specific organization, skill and training providers, higher educational experts, and now to also global capacity center enterprises. Our goal has always been has always been to enable job readiness and project readiness for the workforce and for the customers and the enterprises that we have. Now, talking about a couple of challenges that I see within the workforces, I think the first, I hope you're able to see my screen. Just let me know. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about Okay, yeah. We talk about the reduced shelf life of technologies, considering that it is reversely proportional, I would say, to the amount of learning that is required. We also talk about the limited hands-on experiences, where at Nuvepro we say that, is certification enough, or is certification enough to kind of guarantee the fact that you've been skilled or not? And the fact that the availability of sandboxes is also a huge challenge. Sometimes you require your account to be created, the need for a credit card, and a lot of other things. And also the fact that most of the interviews for the project happens with the client, and for that it is required, essential and required for the developers to crack the interview, which most of the times does not happen because of the lack of hands-on skills. These are just a couple of, I'd say, challenges that we've identified. The solution that Nuvepro kind of provides is something that we've determined as the prime methodology, where we divide the solution and determine it on the basis of two specific theories, which is preparing and measuring. Preparing is where we kind of have work-like environments where the workforce can practice the necessary skills, and we can go through a couple of exercises, after which I would say they graduate to a level where they can work on real world sort of projects, which are similar to what we call internally as guided projects, which are similar to the actual real world project that we have. And once the preparation is done, we determine the measurement where the workforce can practice on the capstone projects, the subjective assessments, the scenarios, and track the measurement of the learning that has happened. So this journey from acquiring, I would say, the hands-on training and learning to practicing to evacuating and to measuring the skilling is what we call the prime methodology at Nuvepro. Um, our focus definitely in terms of if you can see the lifestyle of software development, it is definitely not just to build the applications. Like today, for example, we are doing building the multimodal RAG application. Today it would be about building. Tomorrow you might feel the need to enhance the application, and maybe after a couple of years we'll have different models, and we'd feel the need to transform it into the different newer technologies and the models that are there and upgrade ourselves and identify the outdated ones. So that's the cycle which can be identified as the life cycle for the software development, which is necessary to kind of adapt into the industry trends and move ahead with it. At Nuvepro, our scope, like I said, is not just certifications or simply the fact that certification is not enough. Preparing for a project involves about taking in the hands-on training. Talking about what exactly is the Nuvepro solution is simply learning by doing and not just learning by reading. It's learning by actually doing. Where if you see an employee who has a specific goal, the goal could be a new project, a new job, or I would say it could be a new task that comes to the person. The mixture, or I would say, identifying the working on real world projects, practicing on real world playgrounds, and practicing on the subjective assessments, which combines to be a bundle, which we call a skill bundle, determines the readiness for the project or determines the readiness for whatever the goal is for that particular employee. So this is the usual skill bundle that we kind of follow and do. We also have a couple of technologies in focus. The current one is specifically on the GenAI, but I am very confident, like I mentioned, that we have a lot more workshops coming in, not just for GenAI, but cybersecurity, cloud, big data, AI, ML, and all the other technologies in the focus. Specifically talking about GenAI, considering this is the fifth workshop that we are having, we've done so many before on a couple of use cases, like I would say, I might have that particular slide. Yes, we've done on chat app RAG concepts, we've done on Bedrock, we've done on Code Whisperer and many others. But if you see the blueprint, today we'd be leveraging Amazon Bedrock, where we'd be using particularly which one? Sonnet. Yeah, we'd be using the Sonnet from the Anthropic, and we'd be kind of leveraging and using it to create the multimodal RAG applications. This is specifically for GenAI. We kind of also make sure that we support the proprietary as well as the open source models both in over here. And we'd be using the RAG image model kind of to read the images today, which Tanushree, our GenAI expert, would be kind of taking you through. And yes, like I mentioned, apart from GenAI, we have a lot more workshops coming in the future, and you'd all be shared the invites and the registration links for it. Yeah, this is all about Nuvepro. If you have any more such feedback to give about the workshops that we do, please do share it with us. I will be dropping in my email ID over here in the chat. Other than that, please do review us on G2. We share some exciting rewards around it as well. Thank you. I think I'll pass on the speaking session to Tanushri now. I hope before we move ahead, I hope all of you register onto the cloud with the same email ID with which you've registered for the event, which would be necessary considering the support team has used the same for giving you the access. Thank you. Over to you, Tanushri.
Okay.
Thank
Link
you,
of the
Shafia.
the link of the cloud will be provided to us, right? Now,
Yes, we would be sharing
Priya,
that along with the. I think my support team colleague has already shared it. The URL is given along with the login ID and the password.
Okay, so in the chat he has pasted, right?
Yes, it's there.
Correct. I have got it.
The password is common for all. Login ID is the registered email ID with which you registered for the event.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it.
Thank you, Shifriya. Hello, everyone. This is Tanushri. I am GenAI expert at Nuvepro. So in this session, we will be going through multimodal RAG concepts, and also we'll be building a small application which is named as Smart Menu Assistant, where it would be guiding uh, customers in the restaurant to recommend dishes and through the text description, through image description and everything. So let's just get started. Before we get started, let's wait for a couple of minutes because everyone should have access to a skill bundle, right? So the just to repeat again, the user ID would be registered email ID and the password will be put on chat. And also, if you guys face any issues while logging in, please put your concerns in the chat box so that our support team will be looking into it. Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get any link. I didn't find it in any chat.
The link?
Yes,
Okay,
the cloud link.
Okay, let
Can
me
you please
please
reshare it?
Support, anyone from
It
support
is
can
in
do
the
that,
chat.
please. Yeah.
It is in the chat.
Yeah, I have shared it again. Like, can you find it out?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
So, have you opened the chat box? Like, just now I have
Yes,
pasted
sir.
there with the password.
Yes, yes.
So there is nothing.
Nothing is there.
How?
Chat.
Because I can see
Yeah,
many
the
of
last chat was the poll.
no, after poll, like many thing has been shared. Like, you
Yes,
see that.
yes.
Kindly
I didn't get.
refresh and again, yeah.
Sorry, after the poll, I didn't get anything, even after refreshing.
Shushmita, could you rejoin that meeting again? Better.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Um, Tanushree, I'm not able to see the GenAI Workshop 5 listed on the hands-on page.
Okay. Oh, Shifriya, what is it?
I'll post the snapshot.
Kindly
there.
paste your email ID, sir.
I've posted the dashboard there. Am I missing something?
Yeah, just give us a minute.
Okay, I'll be sharing the link for GenAI Workshop 5 directly. You can join from there.
Yeah, please share
Okay.
me too also. I mean, I am not able to see that.
Sure, others. For everyone else who are not able to kind of get the access, please put down your email IDs in the chat. So support team can take from there. And for everybody who has got the access, please do a thumbs reaction so we are aware that you've received it. Yes. Tanushri has shared the ID for the skill bundle.
Team, when I open that, when I log in, right, it's showing that workshop 5 personalized multimodal rack. That's the one, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the one.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
Shipriya, like from our team, Sheetal has joined, so she can't, get that particular link. Okay, so kindly
Um,
share. Yeah.
I have from your team, I think I've got Shanti and Priya, correct?
No, 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 no.
Okay, I'll
From
just
our
check.
team, me, Molly, and so Sheetal, we have joined. So she put up her email ID there. So kindly, give the access to her. You got the email ID, right? She has written it up. Bhagat.sheetal@icicbank.com.
I'll just check.
Okay.
Yes, I got it over here.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
support team would be taking this up.
Okay, sure.
And Tanushree, I clicked on the link that you sent. It took me to the page, but it is only showing the enrollment options.
Mail ID.
Please share the email ID over a chat, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, Support team, I request everyone to please give an update once the enrollment is done. Let's wait for a couple of minutes till the support team does the enrollment for all the new joinees. And for all the previous joinees, the thing is that please register with the same email ID with which you've registered for the event. Okay, we've got a couple of emails. Adarsh, Pavitra, Shanti.
So I need to put your email address and password should be.
It's already added over there in the chat.
Can you just ping once more if you don't mind? I just searched it.
Yeah, Shipriya, like when Sheetal is trying to, log in into the portal, no, it is showing the invalid credentials kind of thing. So kindly ask your, technical team to, give her the access.
Sure. Karthik, can you check for this?
Yeah.
Sheetal, for you, can you check now?
Yeah, she's taking.
Yeah, I got the access. Yes, Tanushri, till the time the access is given, I think in the next 5 minutes we can start. Tanushri, meanwhile, we can start.
Okay, Shifter. Okay. Assuming most of you have access to our skill bundle, let's just log in. So I'm going to show you how to log in right from logging in part and landing into the skill bundle. Okay. So once you enter into the skill bundle, you might find a couple of skill bundles. So go to Workshop 5 Personalized Multi-Model Drag Application Skill Bundle. That is where we have our concepts, and that is where we will be doing our workshop in this session. So before heading to each of the sections in depth, let's see what we have in our skill bundle. So we have three sections, right? One is about Amazon Bedrock, and one is about overview of multi-model drag. And the finally, we have on hands-on exercise as well. So first two section, I think Amit has covered in a great detail about Amazon Bedrock. So let's get into overview of multi-model drag, as this is what we will be having or we will be concentrating on today. Okay. So before talking about multi-model LLM RAGs, we'll just understand what RAG is.
Sorry, Tejaswini. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I'm unable to see this workshop file. In my dashboard was showing only workshop 4.
Okay. Can you share the screenshot over here?
Yes.
Yes, fine.
Please share
Yes,
emails over a chat. It will be helpful.
Yes, also please share your email.
Okay. Actually,
Rest for everyone else, I'd request you all to log in into the lab.
is it under my skill bundles, right? That only, right? You are saying.
Yes.
For me, it is showing 2 and 3 actually.
Did you access the link that Tanushree had shared for the skill bundle?
Yes, yeah. And some, yes, correct. Yeah. One.
Yes. Are you able to see the skill bundle now?
Yes, I'm logged. Yeah, you carry it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Tanushree, let's move on.
Okay, sure. So if you have any issues with the skill bundle, please put in the chat box. Okay. And also, if you have any queries as well, please put in chat. So our team will also be answering your queries. So let's get started with our multimodal RAG. So as I said, before going into multimodal RAG, just understand what RAG is. So first of all, it is short for a retrieval augmented generation. So I think you might have interacted with LLMs, the popular LLMs nowadays like ChatGPT or Claude. Uh, you might have observed that it can answer only on its pre-trained knowledge, or if you try to ask about your domain knowledge or your company's knowledge, it might not answer about your company's knowledge. So that is where RAG comes into picture. So here you can integrate your knowledge base to the LLM, and then you can make a chatbot out of it, and you can ask a query to the LLM so that it also can do further analysis or answer based on your knowledge base that you've provided. So how does it work? I'm just going to give a simple overview on how does this particular thing work. So whatever the knowledge base that you put, right? So whatever the knowledge base that you have, whether it may be documents or anything, it will be stored in vector store. It will be converted into embeddings. All of the documents will be converted into embeddings. Embeddings are nothing but the mathematical representation of the data, which can be understood by LLM. It cannot understand the direct English, so it will be converted into mathematical format or mathematical representation, and that will be stored into the vector. So whenever you make a query, right, so your query will also be converted into embeddings. As I said, it will not understand English, so it will understand math. So your query will also be converted into embeddings, and that embeddings will be compared with the embeddings that is there in the knowledge base. So it will search if there is any similar embeddings that are there with respect to the query. If it finds that will that from the vector or vector database, that particular embeddings or the context will be retrieved, and it will be sent to LLM. So with your prompt and query, and also the enhanced context, like extra knowledge or the context that you retrieved from the knowledge base, will be sent to the LLM. LLM, with that as a context, whatever it will be referring to the prompt, it will see the context. Okay, I know these things and I have the context. I can, whatever the questions that you can ask, it will be able to answer because the context is also provided to the large language model. So this is the
So,
basic.
Tanushree, sorry to interrupt. So I have one question here. So
Yes.
you said like whatever the text we enter or inputs, right? It will be in
Mhm.
English, so it will be converted into numbers, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
What form? It will be in 0-1 form, or what is that
No,
exactly?
no, no. It is not 0-1 form. It is in terms of, it's normal only, but it's a vector representation of the data.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it is the
It's
image, then the pixel would be the correct thing to on which it will be learned, right?
a
Like
pixel. Yeah.
yeah, if you talk about the LLM, no, if I'm having one image with me, if I'm going to train our model with the with this image, so when basically I'm going to take the pixel like in order to train my model.
Um, I don't have much idea on LLM image training, but if you want model to give answer based on the image, you will not be sending the image directly. You will be encoding it in some format called base64 format, and then you will be sending to the model. So it is also encoding format. So
Acha, acha, acha. Great.
I
Which
quite
format?
not
Can
have
you
base
can you come up again? Which format?
base 64 format. You will
Okay.
encode the image. Image is a binary data. So it will
Mhm.
be converted. It's not converted, it will be encoded in
Mhm.
base64 format. It is one of such format, and that will be sent to LLM. Based on that, it will be answering the questions. It will make an analysis. Okay. I hope your question is answered. So I think everyone has clear picture or overview of RAG. So can you all give thumbs up so that I can move to the next section about multi-modal RAG. So yeah, thank you. As I said, LLM when basic RAG. Yes.
Hi, I had a question. Sorry to interrupt you. So basically, you mentioned that the context is set at LLM, right? So I'm
Yes.
wondering what you mean by that. Like LLM by itself is not going to perform this activity.
One
Um,
sec. Whatever the query, as I said, thank you. As I said, your query or sorry, your documents will be stored in the vector store, which is nothing but it will be stored in embeddings format, mathematical representation of your document, right? So what
yes.
happens when you make a query, your query will also be converted into embeddings, right? So then that will also be in mathematical format. Both will be converted. So this will be, we will do similarity search with there will be pure math behind it. Like some similarity search operation will be performed in the backend. So with respect to the query, what are the embeddings that are there? That will be retrieved. Similar embeddings will be retrieved from the vector store. Okay. So that will be acting as a context.
So you mean to say if I talk about the general text response, so the language of the general text response in such a way so that our machine can understand it, right?
Yeah, our language model can understand it.
Our language model can understand it, right?
Yeah.
But basically, it is getting the input from prompt query and enhanced context, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And the loop will be continued again and again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So here the loop is like can just scroll down? I mean scroll up. Yes. So first, like if it is a pure text, our query is pure text, then it will fetch from knowledge sources. If it is something else, then it will from LLM endpoint. Is my understanding correct?
If your text, if it's any sources in the sense, can you clarify on what any sources mean according to you?
No. Like if it's my query is purely text, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
fetches the response from knowledge sources, correct?
Yes. See,
So
yeah, tell.
yeah, because till third I understood, but what is that fourth? Is it separate type of query or like I'm trying to understand the flow basically.
Prompt plus query, right? I think you will
Right.
understand more when we do hands-on. So but
Okay.
still this prompt is nothing but the template that we'll be giving. So we before sending the query will be dynamic. Query will be, so we will be defining the prompt template. Say it's like this is the thing that you have to do, so we are going to
Tanushree,
answer. Yes.
Tanushree, can I just take 10 seconds? I understood what his question is. I think
Okay.
he hasn't come for the earlier workshop on text. So just
Okay.
take 10 seconds because I understood his
Sure.
question exactly. Atreya, the point is if I'm asking something, the related pieces of information from what is shown here as knowledge sources is taken, combined with my query, and whatever pieces of information that is taken from the knowledge sources is the context, marked in 4 as enhanced context. So my query and the system prompt and the pieces of information from knowledge sources is now fed to the LLM, and the LLM gets the additional information from these knowledge sources, crafts a reply, and gives it back to the user in 5.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't see any link between those two pictures here, so that's why I got confused. Okay.
Yeah, there was an earlier workshop where they covered this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes,
yeah.
thanks.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for answering.
I
Thank you.
have a related query as well. So basically, whatever we give as prompts in our code, will that be always passed to the LLM? And every time the number of tokens is counted, and will it increase the cost if we give too many prompts in our code?
Yes. Basically, what will happen is there will also be a token limit as well. So if you are dealing with normal LLMs like ChatGPT, in that there will be context window size limit. So till then only you can give the prompt. But if you're giving in the code also, there will also be a limit saying that even if you try to exceed the number of tokens than what is decided, it will throw you an error saying that input is too long for this model. I cannot process it.
Okay. So it is a total of what we give in the question as a prompt as well as in the code. It's together, it will convert that into the token, check the limit, and then error out. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's just get into this section, multimodal LLMs, multimodal RAG. So as Amit explained what are multimodal capabilities, I just want to brief it out again. So these are the LLMs which can process different types of data, whether it is image or video, audio, any kind of data. So it can process and it can also generate those type of data. So in how is it different from basic RAG? So whenever you provided PDF, right, so whatever the documents that you provide, you might not know that only text will be there in the document. There might be images, there might be tables that has information about your data. So tables, images, about your data. So what happens then? Your basic RAG won't be able to extract or understand those tables, and it won't do analysis on that particular thing. It will be doing analysis only on the part of the text. So that is where multimodal RAG comes into picture. So what happens here? As multimodal LLMs will be having a capability to process different kinds of text or different kinds of data like images or video. So it will also be making an analysis on the what I can say, the images or the tables that are there in the document. So there are two ways to perform it. So in the initial presentation, we saw that Amit used multi-modal embeddings, right? So what happens here is instead of text, with text as well as the images will also be converted into mathematical representation, and that will be stored in your vector store. And whenever you make a query, it will be searching the similar text or similar image from the vector store, and that particular context will be written to the LLM, and that with that as a context, it will be answering the question. So here, what they're doing here is they're using multi-modal. This is about multi-modal embeddings. The other option here is instead of using multi-modal embeddings, what we do here is whatever the documents whatever the images or whatever the tables that are there, we'll just extract it. We'll just pass all those details like tables, images, or any pictorial data. So that will be passed to multi-modal LLMs, and we'll ask it to summarize it. So summarize each and every details details of tables and the images that are there in this PDF. So please summarize it. And now I get the summarization or the description of that particular image. I will store that image in vector store. So I will store the summaries or description as an embeddings in the vector store. So whenever you make a query, so what happens here is your query will also be converted into mathematical embeddings or mathematical representation where model can understand, and it will be compared with the vector store, and then similar images or similar information will be retrieved from the vector store, and that will be passed as context to the LLM. So you will get more understanding of option 2 since we are using this particular approach to build our application. Okay, so I'll just gonna give a working of how it happens and everything. I hope everyone's clear now till now. Please give me a thumbs up so that I can move ahead, or yeah. Even if you don't understand, it's fine. We'll also be using the same approach. So we'll be doing it step by step. You'll get more context and understanding in our lab. Okay. So this is the second approach, what I said. So this is a flowchart for second approach. So suppose you're using web pages, right? Web pages may have different kinds of tables, images, and everything. So what I'm going to do here is, so what this flowchart tells is, whatever the data, what are the images that are there, whatever the tables that are there, I'll just extract it. So I'll just extract those images and I'll send to multimodal LLM. So I think we are using Sonnet here. So imagine we are sending it to Sonnet. So I'm sending only images and tables as well. So I'm asking it to describe it in detail, and also I'll also mention what and all aspects should be there, what and all aspect it should consider while analyzing that particular image, so that it would give detailed analysis of that particular image or the table. And after getting that, I'm going to store that particular image description. Anyway, it will be in terms of text, right? So it will be stored in, I will be converting into embeddings and I'll be storing it in the vector store. And also, we'll also have metadata, right? You can see here, if there is an image description, I'll pass it to my multimodal LLM and it will be creating a summary out of it. And then I'll store it in a vector store. Else not, I'll just I'll just use the image description that I got, and then I'll be storing it into the vector store. So this is the approach that we are going to follow in our application. So don't worry, we will see how are we going to build our recommendation system, known as Smart Menu Assistant. Okay. So you'll get more context on what we do inside the lab. Okay. Let's start the guided project. Sorry, let's start the hands-on labs. Okay. As I said, I hope everyone's with me till now. Please give me a thumbs up or something.
Yeah. Hi, Tanushree. From where we'll be getting this particular vector store theory, you have, referred few minutes back.
Vector store theory?
Like if, from a few minutes back, you have shown, like that particular, I should write up and the schematic diagram, right? Like how to extract the data of web pages and all. So from the selection list, like from where we'll be getting it?
So that has been done. That has been compiled from many other online sources and put in at one place. So it's not that one particular resource that we have referred and put it over there. It's something we have referred so many resources and then compiled it and put it in a very understandable manner. Yeah, that's
okay. Fine.
Okay. So let's see about the application that we are going to build. So we are going to build a virtual assistant, which is named as Smart Menu Assistant. This should be able to analyze the menu image. So we will have three features that we are going to give. Three features. One is it should be able to scan the menu image, and it should be able to answer all the queries or most of the queries given by the user about the menu. And also the next feature would be text description interpretation. So it is nothing but whatever we might have several dish in our food or dishes in our restaurant, right? So if user queries like, I want this kind of dish, or I want food made of this particular ingredients, and which it should be rich in this particular nutrient such as calorie or proteins or carbs. So based on that, it should make an analysis, and it should be providing what we have in our kitchen or what we have in our restaurant, and it should be giving with the image as well as the description, like how much is the calorie count, how much is the carb count of this particular dish. So this is the another feature. And the third one is, even most like some people might not know what they want, they just know, they just have the picture of what they want. So if they can use that, if they can upload that image, so user should our assistant should also be providing the similar dishes that we have in our restaurant. So this is what we are going to build in our hands-on session. I hope everyone's clear now or have a context on what we are going to build. Yes.
So in the third option, Tanushri, like based on the image, assistant will tell us like whether is it going to tell whether dish is available or not, something like that.
In this particular session, yeah, it can also be done, but in this particular session, it will analyze that image and it will like, okay, this, we might not have this, but similar to what you have uploaded, we may have this, it may recommend the dishes. So it's like, it's a recommendation system, we can tell.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh.
Yeah. Let's just start the lab, let it load, because all the required libraries or everything, the access keys and everything are getting set up in our lab. So we just focus on learning. So let it load and let's see what are the instructions that we have to follow inside the lab. Okay. So once we go into our hands-on environment, we'll have a database. We'll be having database file. So to view that what we have in our database, we have to download one, install one extension called SQLite Viewer. So we are going to do it. And also there are other files that we have. We have other files that we have like flowchart. These are some of the files that we are going to provide in the hands-on. So once you launch the environment, it will be there in our environment. We have flowchart, which image, which says or abstract understanding of what we are going to build. And the image folder, these are the images that we are going to build, we are going to use, means that these are the images we have in our restaurant. That is it's kind of that. And also test image folder is nothing but these, whatever the images that are there in this particular folder, we are going to provide a path. This is just a console application, so we don't have interface to upload it. Instead of that, we'll just provide the image path, and we just say that whether this particular image dish or food is available in your restaurant. So if it does, it will be providing us the recommendation. So, and also we have image menu image. This is for first future where you can, ask questions based on the menu. And this is the assistant notebook. This is where we're going to build our application. This particular notebook has code, explanation, and we're going to go through the code one line by line. And also for a few blocks of code, we'll also have flowchart for it for you to understand it better. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So let's make sure once we enter into the lab environment, right, please select the kernel. I'll also be showing it. Please select this particular kernel so that we can, our files can be executed seamlessly. Okay. I hope our lab is started. Let's go to lab. So it might take some time to boot up as well. Once you click on go to lab, there might be message saying that cannot reach the page. That will happen. Please wait for a minute or two. Even if it doesn't come after a few minutes, say 5, please put your screenshots in the chat so that our support team can look on it. I'll just give a couple of minutes so that everyone can have this particular interface can land into the lab. Let's wait for a couple of minutes.
Tanushree, which kernel did you mention?
It's 3.10.12.
Okay.
I'll show it. Yeah. It's there in the skill bundle as well. You can just go back and you can also refer it if in case you've missed it. And also the explanation, if in case you've missed any part, the same similar explanations are there in each step. Please do refer it.
Hey, Tanushree, how to join the lab? Is there any link that was shared?
Yes, it is shared in the chat. It's a skill bundle link that we have shared in the chat. Click on it and put your credentials. Login ID would be a registered email ID, and password is also put on.
I've logged in. I'm seeing the bundle, but where do I access the lab?
Okay, let me show it again. One second. I hope you can see this interface, right? This particular section of the skill bundle.
Yes.
There is this third section, right? Hands-on exercise.
Okay.
Let's build. Yeah, you can go here. There is explanation on what we're going to do in the lab, and then continue the project.
Okay. So the lab automatically opens here, or do we need to do something?
You have to click on Start Lab button.
Start lab. Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you, Tanushree.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanushree, this is Murli here. So I've clicked on that, and I think my lab is also kind of created, but it is asking me to say, welcome to code server. Please log in below. But I don't know whether it's asking the username or password. So
No, it's not asking anything. I think some 4 dots are there in the text area.
Correct.
It's fine. You can click on that blue button and just continue.
Submit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So as per the instructions, we'll follow as per the instruction. So first it said it was asking us to install SQLite Viewer extension. So everybody please see this is the particular extension icon that we have to click. And then in the search extension in marketplace, right? So you can click there and you can type SQLite Viewer. SQLite Viewer. I hope most of you are with me. And then you can find install button, right? Click on install. Okay. Now your extension is successfully installed if you follow these steps. Were you guys able to install the extensions? Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see what we have.
Getting errors file. Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm getting the error while fetching extensions.
What error? Are you sure your extension name is correct?
Yeah, SQL. Yes.
Okay,
Now I typed.
I'll paste this in the group.
Okay.
Sometimes if you don't use right name, that also it will lead us to error. So are you able to install it now?
It still keep on loading.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's just wait for a bit and just put it up in the chat in case if you're still not able to. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, and I'm just going to tell it once again on how to install SQLite Viewer. So you can see from left, it's fifth extension, fifth icon. So if you hover on it, it will also say it's extension. Click on it and also type SQLite Viewer, and it will provide you some suggestions, and fetch that name and click on install button.
Yes, I'm just checking with the support team and the issue for which everybody is sharing it. Kartika suggested to clear the cookies and try again. If there's any other suggestion support team, please put it.
Okay. Let's also see what we have in our environment. So these are in this particular images of images folder, we have certain images, right? So imagine, I mean, think of this as these are the dishes that are there in your restaurant. Only 10 dishes. Let's say these are the restaurants, these are the images that are there in your restaurant. So when user makes a query, right? So I want something chocolate, and it should be in jar or something like that. So it will be able to recommend from this particular images. So how are we going to do it? So we'll see step by step. And also test images is nothing but for the upload. If there's another feature, right? The third feature where user will be able to upload, but here we don't have an interface. It's a console application. We are going to just provide the path for this particular image. And yes, these images are not included here, so that, yeah, these are different from this, but similar to what is there, so that we can test if user, our assistant can recommend what they have in their database. Okay, so these are some of the things that are there. And this is our fresh menu in, yeah, it's a menu card or menu image. So this is our first feature where user can interact with the user can ask questions about this particular menu. So our assistant should be able to analyze this particular image and should be able to provide information based on what user asked. And yes, if you have successfully installed SQLite Viewer, you'll be able to see the database as well. Let's wait for a minute. Yeah, this is our database.
Tanushree, sorry to interrupt. Like, I think we couldn't able to access the lab. So
What
I
is the
think like
error?
we posted a screenshot. I think
Okay,
like not only mine, like I think a few of the folks also like facing the same issue.
okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes till those issues get resolved. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Let's see. I hope support team is looking into that issue.
So Tanushree, when you try to open that DB, right, it's throwing me some first asking some prompt. The file is not displayed in text editor because it's either binary or unsupported text encoding.
It's because you have to install this particular extension and then only you should be able to see the database.
I installed the extension. Should I okay, I think I have to enable it something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it might be disabled as well. So
Okay,
please check.
sure.
So Tanushree, I have a question here. So I'm inside the lab. Now, based on the database, I could see 10 records or like 10, yeah, 10 records are there. And I could see images also referring to these 10. Am I right? Like
Images
each
path.
pictures.
It's path. Yes. We have given the,
Okay.
even in the table, even in the database, we have given images path.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Mapping to that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have these many columns. I'll start with the
So this
database
will act
itself.
as a train, and then there is also a folder called test underscore images. So that is going to be consumed for testing purposes, is it?
No, not that.
Okay.
We are not going to particularly train anything. No, we are not going to do that. So we'll use this image to create our vector store. And this is test is nothing but we have third feature, right? We'll upload that image and see if there is if it could recommend the similar image from our database. So we have folder for that. So this is for the third feature. So where this particular images that are there in the test images folder, it will not be used in the vector store, or it will not create a vector out of it and store it in the vector store. Okay, it's just to see if it can recommend the images from our restaurant or from the database based on the image that is given.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, let me get started with the database. Let's see what we have. What are the columns that we have in our database? So we have ID, we have name of the dish, we have section, what kind of dish it is, desserts, breakfast, fit and fab, veg means. These are some of the sections that we have. And we have price as well. So what happens here when our assistant recommends the image, right? It will also come with these particular information as well with the image. So that's the reason we have database as well. Okay, so if it recommends cinnamon roll, it should come with all the details, like its name is cinnamon roll, it belongs to dessert, or the price of cinnamon roll is 79 rupees, and these are the ingredients that are used to prepare this. And this is something extra details that are there, and also what kind of nutrition it contains, how many calories, how much of fat, carbs. So all of these details will be provided from the database. I hope everyone's with me. Okay, let's see flowchart. Like, let's go through our flowchart on what we are going to. Let's see abstract or high level view of what we are going to build, or what are the steps that we are going to take to build this particular fresh menu assistant. So first, what we're going to do here is we're going to set up, as we are using the model from Amazon Bedrock, right? So we have to set up, because we have to connect to that particular service. It is Bedrock is also one of the service from the Amazon AWS. So we will have to connect that, and we will have to access the models in the Bedrock. So that part contains setting up. And also, as I said, we have utility functions. We have 3 features and we have 3 functions for those 3 features. First one is analyzing the menu image, and then recommend dish by description and recommend dish by image. So these are the 3 features, and we have 3 functions for it. And lastly, we'll put all of it together and we will build an application. So for all the steps that are there, it comes with steps and explanation and code block and everything. But for the last step, we will be doing it together, and the people who post the output will also be eligible for rewards. I hope the instructions are clear. Yes. Okay. Now that we have gone through all the files that are there in the environment, did we miss anything? No. Yeah. So we can start with assistant notebook. So we have step, code, explanation, and everything. So let's start with first step. So I'll just toggle or collapse this explanation part, because we will be seeing it here. We'll also just copy paste the code in the interest of time. The first step is connecting to AWS Bedrock using Boto 3. So as I said, this is Amazon. We are using models from Amazon Bedrock. So this is also one of the service from AWS. We have to connect to that services. So we need some credentials like secret key, access key, and all of it. So you don't have to worry about all of that because it is already configured in our environment. So just focus on learning. So the first one would be so how are we going to connect to that particular service? First one would be we are going to import Boto 3. If you guys have attended our previous workshop, this is the normal steps that we face. Like this is the same step that we've been using from last 5 workshops as well. So you might be familiar with it. So Boto 3 is used, it's a library, it is a SDK to connect with Amazon Web Services service. So AWS. Hello?
Yeah, so where do we see the run button for a selected cell? There is a run all there, but I, how do you
Okay.
run a single cell?
Okay, I think, okay, so have you guys selected the kernel? So first select the
Yes,
kernel.
yes, it is selected.
Yes. Yeah, go to tryout block. So you just click on it, copy paste the code, and there you can see to your left. There's
Okay.
a execute cell button. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll also just tell how to select the kernel. So to your right, you might find select kernel option. You can just click on it. And once you click on it, you can also see the Python environment or Jupyter environment. Select the Python 3.10.12 environment. And that's how you select the kernel. Now that it's already been selected in my environment, so I'm not going to select it. Yeah. As I said, Boto 3 is nothing but the SDK that is used to access all the AWS services. Since Bedrock is also one of the services from AWS, we are going to use that particular library and we are going to create a client of it called Bedrock. Inside it, we have to mention what kind of service that we are going to use. As I said, we are going to use Bedrock service from AWS. So the service name would be Bedrock runtime, and the region where our resource is created is US East 1. So all of this information should also be passed. So that's how you create a client. I hope everyone's with me with this or understood what we're going to do in our first step. So
Yes.
just double click on the code part and then you'll be able to copy it. Just copy the code part as well. Copy and put it in tryout block. Yeah, it executed successfully. And also, now that we have already accessed the Bedrock, so now we have to, access the models as well. So we are going to use 2 models here. One is Sonnet model, which is a multi-model, which has multi-modal capabilities. And the other one is text embedding model. As I said, what we are going to do here is this is the second approach that we are going to follow. So we are going to pass all of this image to the multimodal and we'll ask it to create a detailed description of each image, and this image will be stored as vector in the vector store. Or we have to convert that image description, which will be in English, to mathematical representation. So we have one of the models, text embedding model from Titan. We are going to use that model to convert our summaries, or not summaries, description, each image description, and we're going to use that model and we're going to store it in the vector store. So that's the reason we have 2 models. One is Anthropic Claude for image analysis and the other one is for Titan Embed Text. So we'll go through the code. So we are going to access our Bedrock models through LangChain as well, because in the further steps I've used LangChain to increase the for our features and everything. So that's the reason, to make it compatible with all the features that we have used, or libraries that we have used, or methods that we have used from the LangChain. So I'm going to call my Bedrock model through LangChain as well. So
Is
first
there a
one,
reason why you've made these decisions, Tanushri, to call the LangChain models and specifically the Sonnet model and Amazon Titan, I believe, is a multimodal model. Is there a reason why you chose Anthropic Sonnet?
As of now, the models that are available in the Bedrock, I think this is the best that we could find for multi-model analysis, that is Sonnet. And text embedding also is the same thing. That's the reason that we've used.
Okay.
Yeah. You can also explore with other models as well. While it all depends on your use case, what kind of use case that we're going to perform. Based on that, you should also do model research, what is compatible and what is not, and based on that, you should make a decision. Yeah. Okay. So first, I'm going to import some methods or classes from LangChain. So I'm going to import Bedrock chat on Bedrock embeddings, since I'm going to access models, Bedrock models through LangChain. And yeah, and then we are going to set some configuration or set some parameters. So some of the parameters are max tokens. So this is just telling the model you should not exceed these many number of tokens. So while generating, you should limit to this tokens or less than that, please, but not exceed more than that. So that's the way of telling. So you have to decide, define max tokens for it. And the second parameter would be temperature. So I've set it to 0 because it ranges from 0 to 1. Uh, uh, this mainly is about randomness, adding randomness to your response. Whenever the model gives you the response, it depends on your temperature. If you have increased or if you have set to 1, which is maximum, it will give creative answers. But I don't want creative answers. I just want what I have given in my database. So that's the reason I have used a temperature, or I have set temperature to 0. And the third one would be stop sequences. So this is another parameter. So it's just telling, while what happens when model generating, it keeps on generating the tokens, and it should stop somewhere, right? You should tell a model to stop somewhere. Even if you don't use it, there will be default way of in the APIs, there would be default way to stop the sequences. But if you want something, or if you, it totally depends on your use case. If you want a model to stop generating after a specific word, you can use it. So for me, it should start with assistant, and then when it comes to human, it should stop. So that is the reason that I have used as a I have used stop sequence as well. And so
I
these
had
are
a
the
question. Here you have created all the environment and the kernel. If we are to execute this code in some other environment, what kind of GPU capacity do we need, or what kind of generally what kind of capacity do we need?
Okay, so this, what we are going to do here is we are going to access the model from Amazon Bedrock, right? So you said GPU capacity, CPU capacity, because we don't need it, because everything, that's the reason we're using Amazon Bedrock. So we're just calling through API. Infrastructure is maintained by them. We don't have to worry about. We just have to worry about the tokens that we consume. That's it. Or if you want to use Amazon Bedrock models, of course, you have to have a AWS account with secret key and access key, and then you have to configure, and then you can call the APIs. So you have to be authenticated to use this particular models from Bedrock. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Tanushree. Just wanted to ask one thing regarding the max tokens, as you have mentioned, 2048. So it's related to the pricing, because I have checked in for the 1,000 tokens, they are generating some pricing for the Bedrock.
Yes,
So
that
for
is also
that
one
we
of
have
the
mentioned.
reasons. Yes.
Okay, got it.
So it should not also generate more tokens and cost us more, right? So you can also, yeah, thanks for reminding. I forgot to state that point. It also to keep the cost in mind, please set the maximum tokens as well. Ideally, they said it would be, and the documentation, they've said like 4,000 tokens would be ideal for it. So yeah. LLM part,
Sorry to
we are
disturb.
going as a
Hello? Sorry to disturb. Can you please touch on stop sequence once again?
Okay. What is it saying?
Stop
Sorry.
sequences.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Stop sequence is something when what happens in the model, right? It keeps on generating the tokens until you limit itself. You should tell that it should stop somewhere. So even if you don't tell also, there will be default, like there will be something like there will be default option where the model will be stopping. But if in case if you want to stop for a particular word, or if you say that, okay, tell me a joke, so it would tell you the joke, but what happens here is that would be end of the joke. But what happens again here, it starts generating like this is another joke you would like to. No, it will keep on generating the joke until you stop somewhere. So in that case, you have to use some tokens to stop the particular or stop the generation or stop the sequence that are generated by the model. So that's the reason I've used human, because whenever you make an interaction with the model, it starts with assistant and then human. Once assistant answers right, it comes to human and then it should stop. It should not tell human part as well. I hope I answered your question.
There are also /n. So that is new line character, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like the format that you have studied. That
Yes.
yes, it will go to assistant, then it will go to human. It will be 2 spaces.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So yes, we will just create our LLM object. So how are we going to create, as we have imported Bedrock chat, right? So we are going to pass the client that we have created in step 1 and the model ID. So every model in the AWS Bedrock will also be having its own model ID to distinguish itself from other models. So this is the model that we are going to use, that is anthropic.claude3 sonnet. So this is the model ID for this particular model that we are going to use. And whatever the parameters that are there here, I'm going to pass, that is model quarks. So this is how I create the LLM objects. This LLM will be used in further steps for our interaction. And also this is another thing which is nothing but the embeddings. So I'm going to pass the client as well. And this is used to embed our descriptions that is generated by multi-model, that is sonnet model. That's the reason I'm using amazon.titan embedding text. So it will be embedding the summaries or the descriptions, and it will be storing it in the vector store, whatever the vector store that we mentioned in the further steps. I hope this point is clear. I'm just going to copy paste the code. Okay, just toggle the
Can you
explanation
please
part.
repeat the embedding part?
So what we are going to do here is, instead of using multi-model embeddings, which can embed both image and text as well. But I'm not going to use it. As I said in the beginning, I'm going to use the second option that I have explained, which is I'm going to generate all the summaries or the descriptions for each of the image using sonnet model. And then I am going to use that summaries would be text, right? Obviously. So I'm using that summaries or descriptions, like we want to convert those description into mathematical format, that is embedding form, that we have to convert it into embedding. So how do you convert those descriptions and summaries into embeddings? You need some model to do that. So I mean, for that, yes, I'm going to use Amazon Titan.
Okay, thank you.
So okay, sorry. Okay, I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to toggle this. If you've missed any part in the explanation, so please feel free to refer the explanation in the notebook as well. So yeah, I'm going to remove it. Yes, I hope everyone's clear with second step as well. Okay.
Hello.
So,
Hi, Tanushree. Hello.
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 Yes,
Yes, tell.
Tanushree, can you show the step one?
So, step one. It's what do you want to know in step one?
Yeah, in step one, how to connect with Bedrock using Bedrock.
I think the code is also there in the steps that we are going to do. It's right in the code section. You can use that code to connect. So this is the Boto 3 SDK as I explained. Using this SDK, we are creating a client. So inside that, we are going to mention the service name. So since we are using Bedrock service from AWS, the service name is Bedrock Runtime, and the region where we have created the service is US East 1. So these are the details that we are going to pass, and that's how we create client.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. If in case you guys missed the code, of course, the code is there in the steps, the code section of each step. So yeah. Okay, so next section would be defining utility function, right? So as I said, we have three features that we are going to give it to our virtual assistant. One, that should be able to analyze this image, and whatever the user asks, it should be able to give or answer based on the image that is given. So the second feature would be, it should be recommend when user gives any description, like textual description, like I want this kind of food, or it should have this particular ingredients in it. It should be able to recommend one of the dishes, or one or more than one dishes from this database, and then it should be able to give the image and the description of that particular image, like name, price, and what are the calorie count, and all of those images, all of those details. And the third one would be, as I said, we'll be uploading here. We're just this is a console application. We'll just provide the path for it, and then we'll just see if it can give the similar image to what we upload or what we use. So these are the three utility functions that we are going to use. So are we clear on what we are going to do? Thank you. Okay, the step 3 is analyzing the menu image. So it's our first feature. So what are we going to do here
Sorry
is,
to interrupt, Tanushree. Can you, I think your screen was freeze for some time. Can you just show that tryout to block once?
I think you can just copy paste the code from the, yeah. Yeah, I'll just show how you can copy paste it, okay? So, okay.
Yeah.
So you might have like this, right? So code section. So just double click on code, and then you can select, instead of don't select the first and last part, and just select what is there in between. Select and copy paste in tryout block.
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's build our first feature, like analyze the menu image. So before we going into code, let's see what we have. Like we have flowchart for it as well. So here we are going to use multimodal LLM. As I said, we are going to use Sonnet model, right? If you guys remember, I also said that we are going to convert the image. We are not going to send the image as it is. We are going to convert the image into some, sorry, not convert. We are going to encode the image in some format, and then we are going to send it. So that's how that's how we are going to do. So whatever the image, what this particular function does is, we have to take this image, and then I'm going to encode that image into base 64 format, because that is acceptable by the model. And also you can't just select the or send the image. You have to send your questions as well, right? That is nothing but the input. So what is your question with respect to the image that you're sending? So we are going to send two things to the multimodal. One is the image, the encoded base 64 format image, as well as your textual input, whatever the user provides the input. So every time user provides the input, as of now, every time user provides the input, the image will be getting encoded into base 64 format, and then it will be sending to the multimodal Sonnet model, and then it will give us the analysis. So I hope everyone's clear on what we are going to do in this particular section. I'll go through the code as well. So let me know if you okay.
If we input an image that is not a food item or that the model doesn't recognize, what happens then, Tanushri?
That is not a food item. You can upload, yeah, you can use any image as well, provided that should be there in your environment, and you can use that as a path, and you can give it. You can use any image as well, even if it cannot understand it. It might hallucinate. Or second thing I have seen, I just saw before the session, it also said it cannot process this particular image. So these are two possibilities that can be done, that can you can expect from the model.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I had a question. Where are we using the embedding model from Titan? Because if we are using this base64 encoded format, why are we again embedding using Titan model as well?
First of all, this encoding format is for whenever the images that are sending to the sending whatever the image that are sending, right? So it should reach the model safely through a call. That's the reason that we are going to encode it. The binary images should be encoded it so that it should not miss out on any information of that image. So this is first section. First section does not use any embedding model, or first feature does not use any embedding model. So if you want to use embedding model, that is for custom analysis. I hope you got my point. So you'll also see why we use embedding model in the next step, or the further steps. Okay.
Okay.
So your base64 encoding is not embedding. It is something that you're going to convert your image, encode your image so that it reads the model safely without missing out on any information. Yeah. And also we are not, in the first feature, we are not dealing with any knowledge base or our custom knowledge base, nothing. That it will happen in our further steps. Okay, I'm going to go through the code. So of course we need base64 library to encode our image into base64 format, and then we need path class, because you know one second. Own voice. Okay. Okay. So the second, why we are going to use path, because you might also use this code in different environment. Even I used in my Windows, but I'm using it in virtual environment. So even if you try to use it in your Linux system, it should be able to match that path. Sometimes while you're defining the path, right? Sometimes it uses front slash, or sometimes it uses backslash. So you can't just keep on changing it explicitly. Instead of that, according to the environment only, it will be the path will be updated accordingly. So that's the reason that we are going to use path. And also we have human message and system message. So let's see why we are going to use it as and when we go through the code. So first one would be analyze the image. Again, I'm going to provide a path for this particular image. This particular feature is about fresh menu image. So we are going to analyze only the menu that is there. You can ask what are the sections in the menu, what do you have in your menu, what are the desserts that are there in the menu. So these are the questions that you can ask in this particular section. So first one would be, of course, you have to provide a path for this particular menu image, and we are going to encode it in a base64 format. It will be in terms of byte object when it is encoded. So you have to, as model requires string as an output, as an input, it should also be encoded into string format using UTF-8. And this is also encoding mechanism. And then the messages, you can't just call the model, you have to pass your messages as well, right? So I'm going to pass two message. I'm going to use system message as well as human message. Why do we need system message? If you don't use it, okay, it's not a problem. It will give answer. But if you are using system message, you are setting extra context, like what model should act as and how it should think while giving the answer. So as I said, in the system message, I have written a content like you should be a friendly, or you're a friendly and knowledgeable waiter in a restaurant. Answer the customers questions based on the menu provided. This is something that I am asking model, or I am giving persona to the model. It should on how, what it should act as or how it should act as. So that is the importance of system message. Second one would be human message. So that is where we are going to pass our encoded format, or sorry, our image as well as the text. We can't just pass the image, right? We should also pass the input or the question that we have with that particular image. So that is the thing that we are going to pass. One is it should be enclosed in this content. So this is the format that you have to follow for each and every model that you're going to use. There would be some format to provide it as an input, whether you're using Claude model or whether you're using GPT model. You should research on what kind of input format or how we should give it. Maybe they will show in the documentation, it will be there, like how you can use our model as a sample API. So you can research on it. So, but yeah, input format will be different for different model. And yeah, so we are going to send a type image. What kind of image that we are telling? We are sending our image in terms of URL, and then what is the URL? We are formatted our string, and then this is the format that we have to follow, and then we are passing our actual encoded format, actual image, which is encoded in base64 format. So this is one section we have in content, and also we are sending the question as well. So the second one would be we are sending text, right? So with that text, what kind of input? Whatever the input that is passed here, it will be here. Mostly it's a question, and then I'm going to invoke the message. This is how you invoke and get the response from the model. So once you get the response, right, this response variable might contain other details as well. So we may not be interested in it. Might contain how much of the tokens that are used, or some other information as well. So what we are going to do, we are concentrating on the actual response from the model. I don't need any other information from the model. I just need actual answer from the model that will be in the content part of the response. So this is how we are going to define our first feature. So I'm going to copy this, double click the code and copy and paste it in tryout block. Okay, I'm just going to collapse the explanation part. So I'm going to cancel this Python because it will lead us to error. Okay, our function is defined. Let's just test if it's working fine or not. Yeah, by calling this function. So this code is not there, but still it's very easy. You can just copy the function name and pass in place of input, please pass your query. What are the sections that we have in the menu? So let's execute and let's see what we get. It will take time to analyze and give us output based on the menu image. The main sections are breakfast, veg means, non-veg means, fit and fab. So you can refer to the image and you can also check whether those sections are correct. So with that, it also give an extra explanation as well. So it means our first feature works properly. So I hope everyone has tried it out and then got the answer. Please give me a thumbs up or something. I hope the explanations are understandable. Okay, so let's start with our second feature. Before defining the recommending, yes.
Tanushree, I executed your code, but it just says executed in 0.0 seconds, but I don't see any output.
Okay, I think you have not called the function. That particular thing is not there in our notebook because this is not our feature. I mean, we are not going to we didn't add it. We just, if you want, this is just for the testing purpose. So if you can just know how to call the function, whatever the functions that you have defined, right? Just you can refer the code that's there. I think I'm pointing to that. Just use the function name, and inside that you can, within the codes, you can pose any questions that you want. You can ask any questions that you want about the menu. So as of now, I've asked what are the sections that we have in the menu. So yeah.
I did the same thing that you did, but for some reason, I'm not getting any response at all.
Are you returning it or anything? Okay. Can you share your screenshot so our team can look into it?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, the next section would be multi-modal rack setup.
Hey, Tanushree, one question over here.
Yes.
Can you scroll up? LLM.invoke, right? LLM I mean variable you have defined for embedding, right?
No.
In the upper section.
No. Embeddings, I've defined it as embeddings.
LLM, this variable, right?
LLM is for multimodal. Code is also there in your in the steps or code block. Please refer it. Okay. So let's see what we're going to do in our second feature, which is recommending the dish by description. Before actually defining that function, we have to set a few things. So we have to set up our embeddings, we have to set up our vector store, and then actually define that function. So that setting up is being done here in this particular section. So I'm just going to give overview of what we are going to, what this setting up section contains. So this particular flow chart comprises of many steps that we are going to perform below, but still I'm going to give overview of it. So we will come back again if not understood. So don't worry. So for whatever the things, what are the food images that we are going to provide, right? So we are going to write a function to convert it into encoding format so that we don't have to write the functions again. Sorry, you write the code again, logic again and again. We can just call the function. So I'm going to define that function. So that function is also there. So what all these images are sent to multi-model, right? So with that image, we are going to get descriptions of that particular image. I'm going to pass each and every image that are there in the images folder to the multi-modal element, that is sonnet model. And also in return, I'm going to get image descriptions, right? So how am I sending the image? I'm sending it as base 64 format, right? That actual base 64 format is stored, like all the base 64 format images, all the images will be stored in this particular list, image underscore elements list, actual image in base 64 format. All these things, 10 images in base 64 format will be stored in image underscore elements list. And also the actual description that we get back from the model, it will be stored in image underscore description list. So why are we going to store it? That we can see later. And then image path also, because I am retrieving, as I said, my model whenever it is making a recommendation. So it will also be providing the details from the database. So I am taking my path as a key here. With that path, it should retrieve all the data of that particular image in that record. I hope you got it. So image description stores all the descriptions of the image, 10 descriptions of the image, and image element is going to store all the images, but in base64 format. And then image path are, why am I using it? Because I'm going to retrieve all the data from the database using this as a key. So that's the reason I'm going to save all the path or store all the path of this image that are there in images folder in this particular list, image underscore path underscore name. So, and also you can see these two blocks are connected, but not this. So what are we going to do? As I said, my description will be acting as, or it will be getting converted to embeddings, and then that will be stored in the vector store. So as I said, image descriptions, all the image descriptions will be converted into embeddings, and then it will be stored in the vector store. So that will be there in page content. So what is page content? We'll see while we write the code. And also all the images that are there, right? So in the document, we are going to, whenever we make a query or whenever the description, food description that is used or queried from the user. So based on that description, not only the images or summaries will be retrieved from the vector store. So we are going to retrieve several documents. So every image will be having separate document. Okay. Every image will have a separate document. So each document has information such as page content, that is nothing but the actual description that we are going to get from the model, and its metadata. Why did we use it? Why are we storing this image elements and all the image, actual image and path name? Because we are going to store that as metadata, because for us to access easily. So each images from the image folder will be stored as, will be converted into document instances, and then that document instances will be will be stored in vector store. I hope you got the point. And only summaries, or sorry, descriptions will be converted into vectors, not the entire thing, not the images, not the name, not the nothing. So only description will be converted into vectors as of now, and then we will store it in a vector store. So every image that we are going to use will have this kind of document instance. So we are going to use 10 images. 10 images will have 10 document instances, and that summaries will be, or the descriptions will be stored in that. Descriptions will be stored in vector store. Document, you can see we have two contents, that is page content and metadata. So only page content part will be converted into embeddings, and they will be stored in the vector store. So all these things we are going to do in several steps. So we'll come back again if not understood. I hope I'm clear, or is it confusing?
Is there a reason why you're doing this, Tanushri, or is it like a thumb rule whenever we are dealing with messages and descriptions? This is the kind of steps we have to follow, or are there any alternate ways in which we can handle this data?
What steps? This particular step that there are many ways to do it. There are many ways to do it. So this was simple, and that was easy to understand as well. So that's the reason I opted this. I'm going to convert each of it, and most of it, many of them are going to, like, as of what are the resources that I've referred. So they are using this particular format, like they're converting documents. Since whatever the query that you make, right, to the model, it will come in terms of document, and each document will be having this particular field. So yeah, that's the reason I'm using it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, so whatever the code that we have built, it's not from one particular resources. It's been researched from multiple resources, and then we compiled and built one application out of it. So yeah. Okay. So I hope this particular flow chart is clear. I got, okay. And I'm expecting more thumbs ups as well if it's not clear, or if it's clear, sorry. Yeah, thank you. So in this particular step, as I said, I'm going to write a function for encoding the image. As I said, we have to open the image path. So whatever the image path that is there, that is being provided, whenever this particular function is called, right, it will be the image path will be passed to this particular function, and this image path is nothing but the path where image resides, and that will be opened as read binary mode. And then as I said, it will be converted, it will be encoded in base 64 format, and then it will, as it will be in bytes form, it will be converted into string using UTF-8. So, and next would be the describe image, because as I said, whatever the models that we are going to, whatever the images that we are going to pass to the multi-model, it should give the description of that image. So I'm going to write the function to perform that particular sorry, I just lost somewhere. Okay, so this particular function, whenever we define it, right? So yeah, our encoded image, that is base 64 format image, will be passed as an argument. And then using that, we get the description from the model. And this particular thing will be for all the 10 images that are there in our database. So as I said, as explained before, it's the same way how you pass the input. So one is messages. Inside the messages is nothing but the list. We have system message, we have human message as well. System message is to set a persona on what it should act as, or extra context on how it should think as. And then image, human message. So then that is nothing but the text. We are just going to get the description from the model, right? So this text contains, it's nothing but the prompt. It's like a prompt, like what part or what aspect of images that it should concentrate, and how it should be detailed, and how it should make an analysis. So all of these things are included in this particular prompt. That is why it's very long, because there are few things that it should consider, because it's a food image, and it should consider many aspects of the food, like how it is garnished as, or how it is looking as, what are the ingredients that it can find. So if it's a prompt, it's not just like 2 or 3 lines that you make to the LLMs nowadays, I mean, with your GPT or anything. So while calling, or if you want to get the best detailed description, your prompt should also be perfect. So it should also tell what it should do, what aspect it should concentrate at as. So I have also mentioned the same thing. So what it should do and everything, it should identify the dish, and you can read it. So what and all the things that are there. And now the input is sent. Again, we can't just provide the input, right? We are going to just, we are going to send image as well. So for that particular image, it should, this particular prompt will be there. So the next step would be image URL, and then it will be encoded. It will be encoded in base64 format. So that will also be sent to the model. And then we are going to invoke the model as we did in our step 1, and we are going to return the response content. So these are the 2 functions that we are going to use. We did it in our first in our first feature as well. So we are just categorizing that into 2 different functions, and we are going to give the enhanced and detailed explanation on what we should want from model, what we are expecting from the model, and how the detailed analysis of text should look like. Because whenever user make a query, right, it should also be providing the or recommending the similar image. So it should also see all the aspect of the image. That's why my prompt is so detailed. I hope everyone's okay with the step 4 or understood the step 4, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to toggle this. How to collapse it? Yeah, I'm going to use. Okay. I'm going to
Hello,
execute this.
hello,
Yes.
Tanushree. Sorry to interrupt you. Shouldn't that be encode image instead of encoded image? The function that we defined, right?
It's a
describing.
function. No, we are going to encode image right here in this
Oh,
particular function. We are going
okay,
to
okay. So
encode.
that's an input, right? Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to, okay, I've executed this function.
Tanushri,
And
I have a
also,
doubt.
yes.
Since your human message is very detailed, do we need
Mhm.
to give the system message for the model to understand the context?
It's solely on trial and error basis. If you feel like the response that you're getting from the model, it's not up to the mark, or it's not analyzing in the way it should analyze, or it should not thinking in the way it should think, you should definitely put. If not, you can also ignore
Okay.
it. It's not mandatory.
Okay, got it.
And just to confirm, Tanushree, this module that we are doing is the output of this will go as input to the RAG.
Yes.
Right?
The summaries would be given. The
Given to
summaries,
the
sorry.
RAG.
Yeah,
and,
the
and then
description.
the final query is going to be utilizing the output of this, and then it will go to the LLM and the response will come.
So going to the
so
RAG in the sense, no, RAG in the sense, whatever the input that we get from the multimodal, of course, it is going to multimodal LLM and you will get from the description. All of these things are happening from the model. And these descriptions, it does not go to the RAG. It's not, I don't think it's a right way. It will be converted, or it will be embedded, or it will be converted into mathematical representation,
yeah,
and it will
I
be
got
stored
it.
in
The
vector
only
storage.
differentiation that I wanted to get clarified was that we are not using this describe underscore image for the user to get a description from the image. Rather, the image is going to be described by this particular module, and this is going to be part of the knowledge sources that you had in the original chart. Am I right?
Yeah, that's well put. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've executed this function. So I hope everyone's clear till step 4. Yes. Step 5. So here we are going to, as I said, whatever the details that we get from the or recommendations that we get from the model, it also comes with the image, also comes with the detailed data, right? Name and nutrition and everything. So of course we should have one function to do that, right? So we'll write we will be providing image path of that particular image, and whenever user make or a model make recommendation, virtual assistant make recommendation, it should also come with other details with respect to that image. So that's the reason to get the to get the all the details from the image, details of the image from the database, right? So we have to define one function to get those details. So that's the reason we are going to define this particular function. So first one would be the function name, and it will be taking it as image path. With respect to the image path, so say if my database is, okay, if I provide this particular image path, right, it should also give all the details that are there, right, from masala, omelette, breakfast, ingredients, and all of that details from this record. So that's the purpose of that particular function that we are going to define right now. So yes, we are going to make a connection first. If we are dealing with database, first of all, we have to make a connection to it. Our database name is freshmenu underscore database.db. So this is our connection. And then we are going to use cursor, define or create a cursor out of it. Why do we have to create a cursor? If we want to deal with all Of course, if it is a database, right, we are going to deal with multiple SQL commands. To execute those SQL commands, we have to define cursor, or we have to use cursor to, execute SQL commands. So that is what we're going to use here. Cursor.execute, select star, everything from menu items where image path is whatever the image path that is there in the input, or that is passed as an input. But that is passed as an argument. And then I'm going to fetch the result one by one, and then I will close the connection. If there is a result, then we are going to return the result, else we are going to return none for the calling function. So this is the purpose of this function. So yeah. So I hope everyone got the purpose of this function, why we are using it and everything. Yes. I'm going to copy paste it. It's copied, I guess. Yes. Okay. So the next step 6 is store the images description embeddings in the vector database. So this is where I said, I also said, right? So we are going to pass all of these images into multi-model, and then it will give detailed description, and that description will be converted into mathematical representation, which is embeddings, and then finally it will be stored in the vector store with the metadata such as its name and image path and everything. So this is what we are going to do here. And is it clear? Okay. One second. Okay. So first we are going to import OS because we are going to deal with the file path here. That's how we are going to do it. We have used path before, I think, in the initial steps. This is just another way of doing it. We are just introducing more and more concepts so that you can also be familiar with how and all we can do. And we are initializing the list. As I said in the image, so I mentioned there are 3 elements, right? So 3 list image elements, 3 elements, sorry, 3 lists. One is image. Okay, 1 second, just give me a second. Okay, so as I said, there are 3 lists, right? Even in the flowchart, I explained. So image elements, it is going to store the actual encoded format of image, and image description, the descriptions that you get from the model for that particular image, and image path name. So these 3 lists will have 10 such image elements, 10 such image descriptions, and 10 such image path name that is being stored in each of this. And then now it's the time where how are we going to call the function? Okay. How are we going to call the function? As I said, we are going to call or pass the image, right? For each and every image, I'm going to pass through the multimodal LLM, that is Sonnet, and then get the description. That is how we are going to do it with the methods that we have defined above. So I'm going to loop this particular directory. If there is a PNG format, JPG format, or JPEG format, I'm going to use that path, and then I'm going to append that path in this particular list for each of this. In each iteration, each of the image path, each of the image description, each of the image elements will be getting stored in the list. So first would be image path name dot append, and then I'm going to encode that particular image using that encode image function that we have discussed, that we have defined above. And then that, as I said, image elements will be storing the images base 64 encoded format. So I'm going to append that, and also I'm going to describe image. This is where we have called the image, right? Sorry, we have called the model, right? In this particular function, we have called the model. So we are passing that encoded image, and then getting the description. So we know that we have defined these two functions, encode image and describe image, in the above steps. We're just making a call for the function, and then also with that, we know I also need some of the details from the database as well. So I'm going to get those details from this particular function called get underscore details from db, that is image path. If there is a result, as I said, my database has all of these fields, right? ID, name, section, price, ingredients, and all of those details will be stored in one variable, uh, result. I think this is a list or a tuple, I don't remember the type of it. Anyway, we'll test. So it will be mapped accordingly, with the respective ID, name, section, price, and everything. And also, I'm not only storing the description. As I said, okay, I will also store the description. Description is a string, and I'm going to convert into embeddings, and then I'm going to store it in a vector store. But as description is also a string, I'm going to append few other information to the string. So that will become one whole other string. So because I just want to have an effective search, whatever the keywords, whatever the names that user will be providing, right, it should be able to match that in the vector store. That's the reason what I'm going to do here is, I know I got a detail for each and every image. I get the details, right? Name of it, image, section of it, of the image, price, ingredients, and everything, right? So I am going to append or continue the string with this particular information as well: name, details, nutrition, and everything, just to enhance my search experience, or to have a good recommendation from the model. So that's the reason I am using description, or I'm appending extra information to this description string, so that it will become one whole string with actual description from the model with other details like name, details, and everything. And I'm going to append that image description in image description list. I hope everyone's clear with this function, what we are going to do or what we have done so far. Any doubts or anything? I don't see any thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to, yes, thank you. I'm going to copy paste it. Okay, I'm going to fill
Hey, sorry to disturb. I have this one question. This images that we are going to be used are something that are present in a directory, right? What if I want to fetch an image from maybe a website or maybe something link that is online? Will this work?
Yeah, that also does work. All you have to do with yeah, provide the HTTP link, and then you can also, if you find any web page, if you want to extract those images, right, you can use, there is this library called Beautiful Soup, I believe. So using that, you can collect all the images and you can use it.
So, like you were suggesting web scraping, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, yes, yes. You can also do it. Or if you
So it will be able to retrieve the image data as well.
Image data as well, in the sense actual image and the data. Yeah. See
Yeah,
how beautiful.
basically, like here we are just putting it through encoding, right? Through base 64. So can I do it for something that is online as well?
Oh yeah, you have to, anyway you have to convert into, I mean, you have to encode in base 64, right? Whatever the images that you fetch from, either fetch from directory or from the web, you have to convert into or encode into base 64 format, and then only you can send to the model.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm pasting this. So I am going to execute this. So you can see image path because we are printing it. Okay, SQLite 3 is not defined. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it will take a while, like 40 to 50 seconds, I hope. You might also encounter error like I cannot proceed process this image, model cannot process this image. In that case, just try executing the cell again. That worked for me. Yes. So yeah, now I'm going to. Hello. Okay. So next, step 7 would be creation of vector store. So we got the descriptions from the model. So I'm going to store the descriptions as a document. My document instance. My document instance as two part. As I said, one is page content and another one is metadata. In the page content, the thing that we want to convert into vectors and then should be stored in vectors. Sorry, convert into embeddings, that should be put in page content section. So now my description should be converted into embeddings, right? So in the page content section, I'm going to give my description, and in my metadata, as my document has document instance has two types, right? So document metadata contains the actual description, and the metadata contains its ID, name, image path, type of the image. So all of it, whatever that you want, you can give. I have given only which is required for this particular application. Metadata is in your hand. You can define as many things as you want. Okay, so let's just see the code. I think I have it. No. Yeah, let's see the code. So just ignore this retrieve contents part. Just remove that part in the code. It's not serving any purpose here. So I've got to remove it. Okay. First would be Langchain community. I'm going to use Face, which is a Facebook AI similarity search. It's a library that you can use to perform similarity search, which this actually creates an index and makes whatever the search that you perform, right? It is with the help of this particular library. And then, as I said, my each image data with my each image will be getting converted into document instance, and then only that will be converted into embeddings, and that will be stored in the vector stores. So to do that, I need this particular library. So that's the reason. So I'm going to initialize documents. So I'm going to see why are we going to do it and everything. So we're going to run a loop from instead of running the loop for 3 times, right, for images, for descriptions, and for path name, I'm going to zip it and then wrap it and then use it this way, so that this E will be mapped to image elements, and S will be mapped to image description, and P will be mapped to image path name. So that's how only once you can map 3 or more variables to 3 or more data structures or more data structures and can execute your function. So here I'm going to get the result from the DB. As I said, all the result will be given. And then, as I said, result contains all the columns, right? Column data such as ID, name, uh, everything that is there in the database. But I am interested in two parts, which is in the index 0 and index 1. ID name, ID and name, because I am going to use that in my metadata. Remember, I know document will be converted into embeddings, but not the whole document. Only page content of the document will be stored in the converted into embeddings and stored. Okay. Oh, sorry. Storing will be everything in the vector store, but the embedding part will be page underscore content and metadata, because for us to get or enhance our search experience. So yes, as I was telling, a result contains all the data such as ID, name, and everything. But I am concentrated on ID part and name part because I'm using that as a metadata. So ID would be ID. I'm going to type which is that an image, and name of that image, and the image path P, and the original content E. So original content is nothing but the actual description, not the encoded or the embedding representation, but the actual description also I am using metadata. Sorry, I'm also storing that as in the metadata. I hope you got, I hope you got what and all that is there in the document object and why are we going to create it and everything. And I'm going to append all of this document in doc, because as I said, for each image, we are going to create a document instance and that will be stored in vector store. So that's the reason I'm going to append it. And this is going to run for all the image elements, image description, image path that we have retrieved or that we have got from the above functions that we have executed. And now, after doing all of this, now our documents has 10 different document object, right? So now I'm going to create the embeddings out of it. My document will be created embeddings. Okay, yeah, created in, my documents will be converted into embeddings now. And then, as I said, only page content will be converted into embeddings. That is the image descriptions that we got from the model. Image description that we got from the model. And the embedding model that we are going to use to do this work is Titan, as I said, as we have defined above. So that's the reason. So all of that embeddings that are there, that are stored in this particular variable. And if you want to store it locally, you can also do it, so that you don't have to create again and again. You can use just particular index and then a particular embeddings file, which will be created once you execute this particular cell. You can use it and use it wherever you want. And make sure if you are using it, you have to set this allow dangerous deserialization to true, because sometimes here, as I know, you know that you're dealing with vector store, right? So it will be serialized and stored in some format. So we don't know the actual information inside it. You may not we are not having any harmful information, but if you are using it from any source or anything, so there might be harmful information in that vector store, or the documents that are embedded and stored in the vector store. That's the reason. Just as of now, if you don't use this, it won't allow us to uh, load in DB. That's the reason I've allowed it. And then I'm going to load the files index, which will be stored in this particular directory. And then I'm also sending another, same embeddings model again. Why am I sending embeddings model again? Because as I said, model won't be understanding English. It understand maths, right? So even our query will be in English. The image descriptions or the description that is going to give by the user, it will also be in English. So that should also be converted into embeddings. Okay, so that's the reason I'm also passing the embeddings model here as well. So with this, I'll perform in the further step, I'll perform the similarity search for the description that is given by the user. I hope everyone's got what this particular function is doing, or what this particular step encloses or everything. Okay, so I'm going to copy it. I hope that explanation is clear and understandable. So I'm going to execute this file.
Tanushree, I tried without that retrieve document thing, so object, but I got an error. So I think you might have to add that next to the documents.
Yeah. But when I executed it, I didn't find any error. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's see.
Oh,
Because
it executed, is it? It executed correctly for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You can see I'm printing the description as well. So for the reference. So now our files index is stored. in this particular format. So whenever if you want to use it, you can use it anywhere. You can use this embeddings even in your local system and then can make a query out of it. It's portable, I believe. One second. Yeah, I hope this step is clear. Is it? Okay. My step 8 is defining the prompt template. So as I said, our embeddings will be going, whatever the context that we get from the model, that will be going to the our LLM as well. So that's the reason it is very important for us to mention the prompt template. You'll understand why we are going to do it in the further steps. So I'll just define like you're a restaurant assistant specializing and whatever the while making a recommendation to the model, right? This particular prompt template will be followed because based on the retrieved documents from the vector store, which will be acting as the context, that will be passed here in the context section. Yeah, in the context section. Based on that recommendations only, it should make a based on the context only, it should make a recommendations. Like, okay, this might be good according to your query. This calorie might suit you, or this particular dish has this much of nutrition. I think this suits your query. So this is the importance of the prompt template while we are interacting with the multimodal or any.
So Tanushree, this prompt template also, includes the maximum new tokens, right?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. What tokens?
The max new tokens that we gave, no, 2048. So that those tokens are all inclusive. This prompt
Yes.
template also includes that, right?
Yes, because we are anyway we are sending this prompt template to the LLM that we have defined above, right?
Okay.
This should also include it. This will also acting as an input.
A template image as well as the descriptions, everything.
Yes, everything. I'm going to define it. I mean, I'm going to execute this. And then.
And one more query, this FIS index that we, put in our local system, right? So that is in our desktop or laptop, which we are using right now, correct? No?
No. This is your virtual environment, right? This thing will be
So it's
there
in
in
your
your
AWS, both or three.
no. It's in this particular hands-on environment. In our environment, it has. It is
Okay, it's
not.
in your environment. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
even yeah, it's in your lab environment. It will not be there in the your local system.
But we can put it in our local system, right? Or store it in our
Usually,
cloud, it depends.
Usually you can do it from here. I don't think you have access to do that. So usually you can do it. Yeah. So okay, let's go to step 9. So we have okay, we have 3 more steps to go. And then so this is how we set up our LLM chain. So whatever the LLMs that are defined above, whatever the prompt that we are going to that we have defined or the template that we have defined, so all of it will be chained together. It is that one rule that we are going to follow in this particular, because I'm using LangChain. This is the way that they do. So I'm going to create this chain and pass my LLM and the prompt template, and then whenever I run a query, right, I will use this chain and then I'll run a query. Inside the bracket, I will pose my question or whatever the description that is given post by the user can also be executed using QA chain.run. That will be the next step, I believe. Yeah. So I'm going to copy paste. Okay, okay. So this is our step 9. Step 9 is done. Till step 9, I think everyone's following with me. So let's go to step 10. So till step 9, that concludes our second feature, that is setup for our second feature. So now in step 10, we are going to actually design a function or define a function for our second feature. So this is what we are going to do in our step 10. I hope I have a document. Yes. So yes, in this, whenever the user, what is our second function, right? So describe, recommendation. What is that? Recommend underscore dish by description. Whenever this particular function is called, it will be taking question as an input. That is nothing but the user description or user question about the image. And with that with that description or query, similarity search will happen with respect to our vector store that we have created here. The query will also be converted into embeddings, and then the similarity search will happen in this particular vector store, and then relevant documents will be given to us, like two or three more, 2, 3, 4, 5, these many documents will be retrieved. Similar documents will be retrieved from the database, and then yes, all these documents will be retrieved, and that document contains the context, and we also take the image path because we have used a metadata in image path in metadata, and with the image path as a key, we also retrieve all this information. So once we get the context right, I am going to take the page content, the documents, relevant documents as two parts, page content and also the metadata. So I take the page content, I mean the actual description that is stored, that is actual description in the sense the multimodal LLM description. I'm going to take that, and with that description I'm going to take the image path, because I have to know, right, what image it is giving that particular response. So when that documents are retrieved, right, I'll also take image path. With that image path I am going to retrieve the documents from the database for image image information, and that will be inserted in image details list. So we're going to see why like what is image detail list, how are we appending it, and everything. So I'm going to go through the code. So whenever the user pose a query, right, recommend dash by description, when they choose this option, they will be prompted to give input. That input will be passed in this particular question, and then similarity search will happen with respect to that question. Hello, can you please mute yourself? Yes. Similarity search will be performed, and many relevant documents, maybe 2, 3, 4 documents will be retrieved from the vector store, which has two parts, right? Page content and the metadata. So I'm going to see for D in relevant documents, I'm going to loop in through all the documents, and I'm going to get the context, because that actual description will be acting as a context. This is just telling to the model extra context from the model, as it would happen in normal RAG, right? So the same context, same way I'm going to pass the actual context, actual description, and likewise I'm also retrieving the images with respect to that particular document with the image path, and I'm going to append it. Okay, sorry. So sorry. I think I missed somewhere. The document has page content and metadata. Metadata also has one other key called original content. I said original content is nothing but the actual base 64 format of the image that is being retrieved from the vector store. So that is what I'm going to retrieve. Relevant images contain all the relevant base 64 format images that is been taken from the document instances. That is nothing but the relevant docs. And then I'm going to use the image path as well to get the details from the database. And I'm going to return the image details in this particular way whenever this particular function is queried. And this is how now, and so this is how you run this particular function. So I think we have created QA chain, right? So QA chain dot run, I'm going to pass the context that is page content, that is nothing but the description from the multi-model that we had got for all the images, and the actual question from the user. So whenever we pass both the things to the LLM, right, context and the question, LLM will understand, okay, this is the context that I have to refer before answering this question. Based on this context only, it will be answering the question, and also it will be so this function also written result all the relevant images and the image details, and this will be displayed to the user whenever this particular option is chosen. So this is what has been happening in this particular function. Did everybody
That
get it?
original content, have we have defined it already? Is it that original content?
Yeah, it is there in the metadata.
Okay.
Yeah. Original content, because that's how whenever the images are getting, whenever the documents are retrieved, right? So it will be retrieved based on the summary or based on the, based on the description that is stored, whatever the relevant or similar summaries will be retrieved. But for us to know for what image that particular summaries has been retrieved, that is why we've used original content, that is nothing but the base 64 format of that particular image. Whenever that document is retrieved, this should also be retrieved. That's how for that particular image only, for particular summary only, we will be retrieving this particular image. That's how recommendation, that's how we are
That's the
going to recommend
encoded
to them.
one, no?
Yeah. So I hope most of you are following through. Please give me a thumbs up. So I'm going to log in. So I'm going to run this. Okay. So this concludes our second feature, that is nothing but recommendation based on the description. So we have set up and defined the function. So third feature is also easy because most of the images, most of the functions that are required, that is already been defined in the above steps. How are we going to define it? So when user upload the image, right, or user provide the image input, they will be providing it as a path, and that path will be we will just encode it, and we will be sending to the model to get the description. So when the description for the uploaded image or used image from the user we get from the model, that image description, which is nothing but the summary, that is how it will be compared with the vector store or compared with the embeddings that are there in the vector store. So that is how image uploading works. So whenever image is given to the user, or given by the user, the path, it is going to fetch the image, it is going to encode the image, and that image will be sent to the multi-model to get the description. And that description, which is a text, will be having or will be performing it will be involved in similarity search. That description and the descriptions or the documents that are there stored in the vector store. So that's how it will be providing the recommendations based on the image. I hope everyone's got what we are going to do here. Yes. So yes, I'm going to encode the image path, encode the image. I'm going to get the description of the image from this particular function. And also I'm going to use this recommendation by description. Anyway, we got the description. I'm using the same function as the above to get the description. And then we are going to return the relevant answers. It's same as above function with little change or with extra step, as you can see. This thing is same as the above, the extra things that we have included here. So I'm going to run this. Okay, so now we have displayed everything. Sorry, we have defined or we have executed everything, and we are just going to display. We are going to write some markdown functions or markdown script to display the image in the console. So that's the purpose of this.
Tanushree, sorry to interject. So wanted to check, can we test that function by giving some image pictures from the above one? Yeah.
This
Like a
button, okay.
recommendation by image. Can we
Okay, fine.
execute and check?
So I am going to get the image from the test folder because this information is not in the vector store. Let's wait. Okay, it's been retrieving. All these images will be,
Okay.
it will be shown in the display image button. I mean, this particular function will take care of it. But for now, it's giving the, I've used burrito image, right? Okay, yeah. The same way it is, okay, where is that assistant node? Same way it's been recommending dog, the Mexican bowl, burrito bowl, or this burrito. I hope everyone's following with me and
So
following
once
me
we
along.
give the test image, it is recommending from the menu, right?
Yes, from the images that are there in our images folder.
Okay,
Yeah,
which
from
we have
the
already given in input. Okay.
vector store. Yeah. So yeah, the next step here, yeah, good that I executed this. So here you can see only the images and the recommendations and everything. We are not getting it. Of course, you cannot, display the image information to the user this way, right? I want to do it in a presentable format. So that's the reason I've used this function. I'm going to create a variable called image markdown. So however, we have, so basically I'm writing code for this particular image. See how it has been projected in this particular space. That's how we have to do it for our images as well, so whatever the images that we get. So this is how I'm going using this. I'm going to
Hello,
no
Tanushi.
yes,
Can you repeat step 10?
step 10.
Yes.
Okay. So what we are going to do here is recommend dish by description, right? So whenever users choose this option, this particular function will be called. So when this particular function will be called, the user description will be acting as or stored in question. So with that question, I'll do the similarity search. So that question will be converted into embeddings. That embeddings will be involved in the similarity search that is there in the vector store. So after doing the similarity search, we'll get the relevant documents that we have stored in the vector store. With that relevant documents, I'm going to retrieve the details that I want. I'm going to retrieve the actual content, page content. I mean the actual description of that document, and also the original content, which is nothing but the base 64 encoded image for what image it is giving the particular some description, and image part to get other details as well, since we are going to give all the details or present all the details to the user with respect to the image and everything. And then we are going to format it in this way, and then we are going to send this. So I hope send this as a response. I hope. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to write a markdown and see how can I show you in what format that it is in.
I'm getting a blank image as a recommended image.
Did you try executing everything? I mean, school this code display image.
Yeah, I'm getting the description for the test image, but the recommended image, I'm not getting the recommended image.
Okay, let's wait. See, so whenever we are going to display the image in the markdown, see, it will be in this format, and then I'm going to click enter, and then it would come. So that exact format we are going to do it here. So that's how I want image markdown in my markdown space. So that's the reason I'm going to use this particular thing. And then other details as well. This is nothing but name, price, in details in a presentable manner. And this display function it is used to display the markdown image and the details as well. So I am going to use this. I think why you're getting here is, and remember you might encounter error saying that review key is some key error regarding the review review rating, I believe. So you just have to correct the spelling of the review. It's not changed there, sorry for that. So this particular review rating key, right, just cancel this e, extra e. Now you'll be able to run this function. Okay, so let's put everything together. Let's put everything together and then we will perform our exercise and then we'll create our assistant now. So this is the last exercise. And once you execute the exercise, right, please share your outputs in the chat section so that you'll be eligible for the. So yeah, what we are going to do here is I'm going to create 4 options for the user. 4 options for the user. One is to ask about, one is for first feature, that is nothing but analyze menu image. One is for second feature, that is nothing but the recommendation dish from the description. And the third option, which is nothing but find a similar dish based on the image and then exit. So I'm going to give 4 options all put in while loop, and then I'm going to ask input like what choice that they have to use from the user. They're going to select that particular choice. It's yeah, particular choice, and then with that choice I'm going to write functions. If choice is equal to 1, this particular function should be called. If choice is equal to 2, this particular function to be called, and 3. And yeah, we have 3 features. I'll write 3 choice, and fourth one, if they don't want to call or if they want to end the loop, I'll just use exit. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's code it together. So while true, so I'm going to just write welcome message. And then I'm going to print 4 options, right? So I'll display 4 options in the console for user to choose from. So one would be ask about the menu. The next one would be analyze the image, recommended dish based on a description. Please follow along and code along on a description. And then we will also have another feature, right? For similar, find a similar dish based on an image. Image. So I'll also have a choice input. I'll just prompt the user what choice they have to choose from the available choices. So choice would be input. Enter the number of your choice. If choice is 1, okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to give this code. Please execute it and then you can paste the information or the output in the chat box. So remember, when I'll be giving the code in the chat. So whenever you get whenever you run this particular cell, right, you'll find the text box here in the upper side of the lab environment. That is where you have to provide your input. So I'm going to show that. Let's.
Hey, is there any restriction on the time on the lab? Because I think mine got expired or something like that. Just wanted to check.
Shift here.
Yeah, probably for 2 more hours it will be available, but it will not be there for beyond that.
Okay, thanks. But I think it asked me to refresh, and once I refreshed it, it went into an error. So I thought it could be because of that 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. or something.
No, it's not that. There are few hours. I mean, few of the users, I think, might have left it idle. It will not refresh it. So that might be the reason.
Okay, sure. I'll refresh it again. Thanks.
So I'm going to provide the code in the chat as well. So I'm going to first show how it recommends and everything. Let's just see together. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. My code, environment, everything is visible, right? Yes.
No. No.
Okay.
Only the Teams view.
No.
Okay. Lab environment. So I hope it's visible now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is asking me to choose from the options, ask about the menu or recommended dish. I will straight away go for recommended dish because first one is already explored. So I'll choose this option 2.
Tanushree, 1 second. I think looks like there's a huge role infrastructure spend on this. So lab would be available for next not more than 15 to 20 minutes. Request you to please complete all your tasks and post your results. Because I think on the back end, we are seeing the resource to be highly utilized. We have to optimize it.
I think, okay, Aaron. So I need something with chocolate. Can you recommend me anything? So I'm going to give that. So first it is, see, it has been recommended. I've asked something related to chocolate and then it has given me chocolate and its description with its nutrition content and everything. You can also cross check it, and additional recommendation also we've got. So first two is the proper recommendation that we got, and I'll also try with option 3, and I'll also use this path. Copy this path. And also I'll paste this. Let's see if I get something related to sandwich. It's happening here.
Hi, can you share that code in the chat so that we will
Yes.
also try it in parallel?
Yes. Okay. I think oh, 1 second. Just give me a minute.
I think you just need to enter 4 in the.
Yes. I think the code is shared. Please execute the code and see the recommendations for yourself. And send the screenshots if possible. I hope you guys have followed through. I hope you guys are getting the recommendations and you have followed through the explanation from step one to step, like last step. I hope this session was more understandable and it was useful. So with this, I conclude this session. Shreya.
Yes, please do send your outputs to us in the chat over here. You can also email the same to me on my email ID. I'll be also sharing my email ID over here. Just as our GenAI expert Tanushri gave a demo over here, and you experienced a hands-on learning for the and learned how to create multimodal RAG application. If you want such personalized demo for your team, please write down to me at shivpri@nuvepro. My email ID is there in the chat. Along with this, I'll also request all of you to review Nuvepro on G2. I'll also be sharing the link for it in the chat. We are also giving out some rewards around it from Amazon. Please do share your reviews with us on G2. My colleague has also shared a poll. Would be great if you can take that up. As Arun mentioned, the lab would be active for the next 2 hours, so please do send you the outputs. We'd be finalizing the first 5 or the most correct 5 and rewarding them with the winner certificate and the rewards as well. I'm seeing some outputs. All right, thank you so much. The G2 link is added in the chat. Please do share in your reviews with us and we'll be rewarding for all the reviews. Yes, the link for the G2 is added in the chat. My email ID is also added in the chat. If you require a personalized demo, please do write down to us. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. And please stay tuned to Nuvepro's website for more such workshops on GenAI, not just GenAI, but cloud and other things as well. Thank you.
You're getting a bedrock error. Bedrock is exceptions or
Given the code,
base 60 format.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Tanushri, are you there? Hello. Hello.
I think the meeting is ended.
Does anyone got the output?
Yes.
Others, can you just guide me on that part, because I just got a recommendation about the response. Thank you for sharing the menu. And what I can see the output of everyone. So can you just help me with that? Means exactly what choice we need to put.
Yeah. So what do you need? Like, okay, with the
No.
input.
Yeah, please giving me the error of print.
So you are
invalid
getting
choice,
that prompt, right? When you execute it.
Yes, yes, yes. No, I am getting that print invalid choice. Please try again. So I need to run again that code.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Adarsh. Hello.
Okay. So I'm audible, right? Hello.
Hello. Yeah, Adarsh. Am I audible to you?
Yeah,
Hello.
Sanket.
Yeah. Yeah, am I audible to you? Hello.
It's like
Adarsh.
I'm not audible. I can hear you.
Yeah. So actually, I'm just getting that error invalid choice. Please try again. So I need to run that code again?
I think your voice is breaking, Sanket. Hello.
Hello, Adarsh. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. So yes. So where are you stuck right now?
Yeah, actually, I'm getting the error of print wala, the invalid choice one. So do I need to run the code again?
Can you paste that error? See, I'm also not an expert. I just attended this, but maybe let me figure it out. If you can share the screenshot, maybe I can tell you what it is.
Where is the yeah, just paste in the chat.
Invalid choice. Please try again. Okay, so when you got a prompt, what you actually typed first, you need to put a number, right? First,
Yeah,
it
I
should be
have
a
put the
number.
number. Yes, yes. I have put the number 1. So it has given me the response. Thank you for sharing the menu. Post that I have entered the second option, recommended dish based on description, but it gave me this error.
Second one, okay.
Uh,
So let me try once. Okay, my prompt is still there. Let me try.
Sure.
So what I did is I just pressed the number, right? The first number, and I don't know this description is right and all. I just gave that cheese with vegetables. Then I'm getting that some recommendations.
So let's see. When I gave the option of 1, it gave me the response. Okay, the below
Okay.
response, and then again I need to give one more response, or directly I need to put a dish name in that. So can you just once share your screen so that we'll be able to okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah, that's visible.
Okay. So say I'm putting the first number. Okay. Now I have to give some description, right? So I'm just giving cheese, vegetables. I don't know this is the right one to tell, but
The description you need to give manually.
yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I need to clear. I'm not able to understand what was the latest one, and is it on the top? Okay, it is still processing.
Actually waiting for next input. So you can exit, you can say 4 and then get out of it and then rerun the cell.
Escape,
Just
right?
say 4,
Okay.
4 there.
I think it keeps coming. Okay, maybe I just press enter. Fine. Not able to exit or
No, you have to put 4 number.
4.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
so
cell should stop running actually.
Yeah.
Stop
and
rerun the cell.
Yes, I can clear this, right?
No, rerun the cell. No, that just rerun the cell. It will go.
Okay. It will go. Okay. So let me put 1. Or just trying something else. Protein shake.
No, first you have to put some number, na? Like number 2 first. 2 is for description. Okay.
I already put that. So second prompt I typed that. So okay, let me try again. Okay, now I can give a question about the menu.
No, first you have to give 2. Number 2. Select the number 2. Recommend dish based on description. Bus enter 2 and then give the description.
Okay, let me run again. 2. Then the description. Okay.
Others, what is the issue?
No, I think the prompting, right? I think Sanket is getting some error. So yeah, when I think this is a previous answer, looks like. Cheese and vegetables. Okay, this came on the top. Thick protein shake. Yeah, it is coming. So Sanket, can you try the same prompt?
Yeah, I'm trying to same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting error. Works. Some occasion, if we give a wrong input, that gives an error.
Okay.
So I think we have to read this
While
clearly.
the prompt 1, then we need to put the dish.
Yeah, exactly. I think with the second choice, we have to give that description. So.
Okay, others, thanks, buddy, man. Thanks for the help.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.